Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is for a good friend, Ben. Very nice guy. Thank you so much for that. For those interested, requesting any type of videos, whether it be a topic, a tier list, a ranking, a review, or re-review, thoughts, streams, commentaries, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it, and I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. PayPal's the best way to do it. Do have a Cash app as well. Links are down below in the info box. And the movie I'm talking about today is Hoosiers from 1986. Of course, as he mentioned in the message with the request, this was set because Gene Hackman sadly passed away. And news came out also about how he died, and just very sad, very depressing. And Gene Hackman, one of the great actors. Uncommon Valor, I will still say, is my favorite. I think it's one of the most underrated films of all time. It's my favorite role with him in it. First Connection 1 and 2, Mississippi Burning, Superman as Lex Luthor, Narrow Margin, The Birdcage, The Replacements, Enemy of the State, Crimson Tide. There's a lot of stuff he was in that was rather good. Unforgiven. Now, the Hoosiers, this got a lot of good kudos back to the day. Dennis Hopper, I know he was nominated for an Oscar. I don't remember if he won or not. He could have, but I don't remember. I know he was nominated for an Oscar. And the director of this film would go on to direct Rudy, with Sean Astin in the 90s. And funny enough, both films actually features a musical score by Jerry Goldsmith. Fantastic composer, one of my favorite composers of all time. Did the first 3 Rambo films, Star Trek the Motion Picture, Leviathan, Runaway, which I think both are underrated movies and underrated scores. Love Jerry Goldsmith. Total Recall. He did the music for this, and he did the music for Rudy. Now, other people in the film, I think it's Barbara Hershey. She's in the film. And there might be some here and there, like in smaller roles, but those are the only ones I think of at the top of my head is the ones I mentioned. And the plot's very simple. It's Indiana. It's based on a true story, although loosely based. The coach of this team has passed away, so a higher official has gotten Gene Hackman to come in to be the new coach. He teaches a different way, in this case more about teamwork, about passing, about conditioning. So he has this rule, pass 4 times before you shoot. And by doing it this way, and then they don't have the star player Jimmy, because Jimmy was a big part of that coach that passed away, and when that coach died, he just didn't want to play basketball. Well, he didn't want to be on a team anymore. He'll still shoot on his off time, but he doesn't want to be part of a team. After some disagreements, there's only like 5 people on the team, and throughout the film, the decisions he makes, for example, one player's not doing what he's told, passing 4 times before shooting, so he's like, okay, you sit on the bench, you're done for tonight. And the referee's, well, you got only 4 guys out there. Hey, that's my team out there. Now, I didn't know you were still allowed to play with 4 people out there. I thought, I guess, I don't know. Maybe that rule has changed, but I didn't know you were allowed to play 4-on-5 legally. Obviously, you don't want to because it just leaves a person open, but I thought there was some kind of rule. I've seen this film once before, but I didn't remember much about it. So I'm like, oh, they don't have to forfeit? No, okay, they're still playing the game. Okay, I guess so. I guess that's the case. Dennis Hopper, he plays the town drunk as well as one of the players' father, and the player's embarrassed of him. And Dennis Hopper's not a mean drunk. He's not a cruel guy. He's just a guy that you feel sorry for. And Gene Hackman is trying to get him sobered up, hires him as an assistant coach, which the townsfolk disliked even more. And they also dislike the fact that their team's been losing for a bit because of Gene's different ways of handling things. He also gets in a lot of fights with referees, and from time to time he gets kicked out. Meanwhile, Barbara Hershey, she's going up against Gene Hackman, thinking something's up, finding some info about Gene's past, ready to tell it to the crowd of people, but then doesn't. It's like, I don't know if they're trying to go like a romance angle, and I just don't think that worked. Or whatever the hell they were trying to do. I'll say this here. I always thought this film was fucking overrated. I know I dropped the bombshell. I never was a big fan of this movie. I think it's okay. Alright. Because Gene Hackman, because of Dennis Hopper, because the basketball scenes are nicely handled. But when I think, when I think of sports films, I think of White Men Can't Jump, I think of Major League, I think of Any Given Sunday. I might even say I like Coach Carter a little bit more than this. Rudy, I like more than this. The Sandlot, Space Jam. I mean, the all different types. Field of Dreams. There's just other ones I like more than the Replacements with Gene Hackman. It's a different tone. It's more goofy and silly, but I'm more entertained by the Replacements more so than this because I like the characters in that more than this. I like Gene Hackman as an actor. I don't think his character was that interesting. There's not a whole lot of dialogue I thought was that memorable. So I don't think it's Gene's acting. It's just I don't think the script, the dialogue was that memorable for him to say. And when they do like big speeches, like the coach giving these big speeches, I could still think of Al Pacino in Any Given Sunday. Or the jabs and the jibes of harsh dialogue and playful dialogue that Wesley and Woody would go against each other, verbal sparring in White Men Can't Jump. Even the Dennis Haysbert Major League, fuck you, I do it myself. Or Tom Berenger, strike this motherfucker out. I don't have any of those feelings with this film. I don't. Maybe, yeah, because the dialogue I don't think is that memorable. The pacing at times I thought was kind of boring. The Barbara Hershey stuff, I don't even think was needed in there. Because I don't think it really amounted to a whole hill of beans. The other players, you didn't give a shit about the players. I don't know why you would. One guy, okay, is a little bit religious. And okay, there's maybe one bit of dialogue that, hey, God wants you on the court. Something like that. But I say something like that because I can't remember it verbatim because, There's another bit where Gene's talking to a ref and it's like, you got chitty shit in your eye. Like, okay, that was funny. But very, very few and far in between, in my opinion. And like the players, okay, one is the son of Dennis Hopper. One is religious. That's all you know about those kids. And it's only 5. It's not like a whole team of 15, 20. It's only 5. You know nothing about them. So if I don't care about the players, I don't really get to know any of them. Even Jimmy, where he does these decisions, they start losing, he brings in Dennis Hopper, the town freaks out even more. They have this meeting in town where they're going to vote. And if the vote turns in their favor, Gene Hackman is kicked out. And then the player Jimmy comes back and goes, I'll play. And the crowd's like, yeah. But I play, coach stays. He goes, I go. And then they start this winning streak. But it seems like they start the winning streak not because of Gene Hackman's way of doing things. Because of his way of coaching. Because of his way of passing and teamwork. The way they make it seem like as soon as Jimmy, who knows how to play, comes on, they start winning just because of him. And he's making the shots, yeah, he's making the shots, yeah. So it makes it seem as if, yep, they were going to keep losing if not for this Jimmy guy that show up and put all the winning shots. And then you think it's going to go into Gene Hackman and this Jimmy guy, kind of like Al Pacino and Jamie Foxx and Any Given Sunday or so. No. I mean, off the court, they don't share any dialogue. They don't share any... Like, I'm expecting Jimmy to give a bit of a discussion and dialogue about his old coach and how close he was with his old coach. And Gene telling something about, I'm not here to replace him like that. I'm just here to coach a basketball team. And what Jimmy likes about Gene Hackman's character and any amount of bonding or heart. I didn't feel any of that because it wasn't in the fucking movie. Now, I know I'm yelling like I don't think it's a bad film. I just think it is an overrated film. Because of those reasons. Again, the acting is not bad. The look of the film brings that aura of the Midwest. I know because I was born in Iowa. So it definitely has that Midwest aura to it. Jerry Goldsmith, I think his score in Rudy's more memorable. Because I could come up... I'm doing a shitty job of it. But it could pop in my head. I can't do that with this. I just saw the film. And I remember not minding the music, but at the same time, I can't remember any of the themes, like the main themes, like catchy, as I have with other Jerry Goldsmith scores. Again, Gene Hackman always does a good job, but I don't think his character is the most memorable he's played. And of course, Dennis Hopper, he does a good job. But it's okay, he pops up a few times drunk. Then he pops up a few times on court kind of nervous. Then at one time, Gene Hackman, on purpose, gets himself kicked out so that Dennis Hopper has to do this on his own, and he's able to coach a little bit. Then he's back on the wagon, he's in the hospital, him and his son have a few words, and then you don't see him for the last 20 minutes. So I think Dennis Hopper did fine. I don't know if I'd call it Oscar-worthy. I thought he did fine, though. He did good. Again, I just don't know if I would call it Oscar-worthy. But he did good. But he kind of just appeared whatever it allowed, and sometimes he would just disappear from the film. And like I said, whatever they're trying to do with Gene Hackman and Barbara Hershey, I just didn't give a shit at all. At all. So when you don't have much connection with the players, you don't really know the players, I think the writing was not as good as it could be. I think it's mediocre script. Like, the script itself is mediocre. The score, I don't think it's one of Jerry Goldsmith's best. It's competently made. It's acted well enough. The last half of the film is kind of almost countless scenes of basketball, and I love basketball. I love watching basketball. I just never get a chance to watch it anymore. It's my favorite sport. I used to like playing it. I never was on a team, but just playing it for fun, but just never had much experience. Just back in the day we had a hoop. I played for a little bit, but that's been so long. But I love the sport. Love it. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with seeing a lot of basketball being played. For me, that's still fun no matter what. And it's shot... Although it seemed like at one point, like, all these shots are going in, and then I'm looking at the score, and I'm like, is that really the score? Because it felt like a lot more shots went in this montage than the scoreboard you have on there. But maybe that's just me. I mean, the ending, you kind of know where it's going, so I would say it's predictable. Like I said, just compared to, I do think like Any Given Sunday, which to me is, I think, one of the best sports movies ever made. That just has so much more gravitas to me. And for me, like Rudy, I thought has so much heart, much more heart to it than this. This for me just comes off as short. I know it's not a popular opinion, but oh well. I always thought this was an overrated film. I never thought it was as great as people made it out to be. I think it's okay. I don't think it's bad. But, yeah, I don't care about the kids. There's not much interaction off the court between Gene and the kids. The stuff with Barbara Hershey, I think, was, for the most part, unneeded, other than, well, we gotta find a way to tell Gene's backstory. Well, I mean, have one of the players find out. Like, some of the players don't like how he's doing things, and they find out, or Jimmy, he listened to Gene because he's the star player, so he has connections. Then he finds out and wants to talk to him, and then Gene gives his speech or gives a dialogue with this guy, and that's why Jimmy joins back. He hears Gene Hackman's story, what happened, whether punching a player or whatever the case would be. This is what happened, this is what he wants to do, this is what he wants to accomplish. Jimmy listens to this, he walks away. Then the next time you see Jimmy, he goes into the courtroom, he's like, I'm going to play. But he stays on the team. If he goes, I go. That to me would now create a bit of a bond between Jimmy and Gene Hackman, and then you see more of them working together throughout the film. Do you even want to look at, or keep boxing films like, what was it, Digstown with Louis Gossett Jr. and James Woods, or Southpaw, or what was it, Gladiator with Cuba Gooding Jr., Bleed for This, I think it's called. Of course, the Rocky films. My all-time favorite sports film is Rocky 4. My all-time is Rocky 4, but Rocky 3, Rocky 2, Rocky 1, Rocky Balboa. There's just others I would much watch and prefer over this. That's just me. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.